Have you ever wondered what it takes to step into the shoes of a great leader like Moses? For Joshua, it began with a divine call. Following Moses' death, a void was left in the leadership of the Israelites. It was then that God chose Joshua to lead his chosen people into the promised land. In the sacred tent of meeting, God spoke to Joshua, his voice echoing with authority and comfort. He promised Joshua his unwavering presence and guidance, just as he had done for Moses. "Joshua, arise, for I am with thee. As I was with Moses, so will I be with thee. Be strong and of good courage," God commanded. His words imbued Joshua with strength and courage. "This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth. Meditate on it day and night, that thou mayest observe to do all that is written therein," God instructed. With divine assurance, Joshua was ready to lead the Israelites into the promised land. Imagine a river parting to make way for an entire nation. This was no ordinary river, but the Jordan, a significant body of water that stood as the last barrier between the Israelites and the promised land. Now, under the leadership of Joshua, a man chosen by God himself, this seemingly insurmountable obstacle would be overcome in a miraculous event. As the priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant stepped into the river's edge, the waters retreated, leaving a dry path in the midst of the Jordan. This was not a coincidence or a trick of nature. It was a divine intervention, a clear sign of God's favor on his chosen people. With the path laid bare, Joshua led the Israelites across the riverbed, each step bringing them closer to the land promised to their ancestors. And so, the Israelites set foot on the promised land with Joshua at the helm. What if trumpets could bring down city walls? Now, imagine the city of Jericho, a stronghold standing between the Israelites and their promised land. Joshua, chosen by God, knew that this fortified city was no match for divine power. God gave Joshua a battle plan unlike any other. For 6 days, the Israelites were to march around Jericho's mighty walls, the Ark of the Covenant leading the way, the priests blowing their trumpets of ram's horns. On the 7th day, they circled the city 7 times, and with a long blast on the trumpets, the people shouted in unison, and then, a miracle. The walls of Jericho collapsed, tumbling down in the face of unwavering faith and divine intervention. The Israelites surged into the city, claiming their first victory in the land of Canaan. Jericho fell, and the Israelites witnessed the power of their God. What binds a people together more than a shared promise? A covenant, a sacred contract, is indeed a powerful force of unity. At Mount Ebal, Joshua, the chosen leader, understood this truth profoundly. He gathered the Israelites, not just to celebrate their recent victories, but to renew their covenant with God. This was not a mere formality, but a significant act of faith and commitment. It was a collective affirmation, a reiteration of their promise to adhere to the laws given by God. The renewal of the covenant was a pivotal moment in their journey, a moment that fortified their resolve, strengthened their unity, and deepened their faith. This was not just about obedience to a set of rules. It was about their identity as a people chosen by God. In renewing their covenant, the Israelites reaffirmed their commitment to God's laws, thus ensuring their continued journey towards a future ordained by divine promise. Could a prayer stop time? In the midst of a fierce battle, Joshua, the appointed leader of the Israelites, turned to the heavens with an extraordinary request. As the Amorites retreated, Joshua, filled with divine courage, prayed aloud to the Lord in the presence of Israel. He implored, "Sun, stand still over Gibeon, and moon over the valley of Ajalon." In a moment that defied the natural order, the sun and moon halted in their paths, suspending the day until the Israelites claimed victory over their enemies. This remarkable event, recorded in the book of Joshua, is a testament to an unwavering faith that moved celestial bodies. Astonishingly, the sun did not hasten to set for about a whole day. There was no day like that before it or after it, when the Lord listened to the voice of a man. And the heavens stood still, responding to the prayer of a faithful servant. How do you divide a land among 12 tribes? This question echoed through the minds of the Israelites as they stood on the edge of the promised land. Joshua, their leader, was tasked with the challenge of dividing the conquered territory into 12 portions, one for each tribe of Israel. He didn't do it by himself, though. Joshua was guided by Eleazar the priest and the heads of the ancestral tribes. They cast lots, a traditional method of decision-making at the time, to determine the boundaries of each tribe's inheritance. From the Mediterranean Sea to the Jordan River, from the fertile plains to the rugged mountains, each portion was unique, each a reflection of the tribe's character and needs. This division was more than just a logistical necessity. It was a fulfillment of God's promise to Abraham that his descendants would inhabit a land of their own. Each tribe received their inheritance, a testament to God's faithfulness. How does a leader say goodbye? As Joshua's time drew near, he called for the Israelites. With a voice brimming with years of wisdom and experience, he spoke his heartfelt farewell. Joshua's words were not of sorrow, but of hope and warning. His message: remain faithful to God. The path of righteousness isn't always the easiest, but it is the one that leads to true prosperity. Joshua implored the Israelites to avoid idolatry at all costs. He knew too well the temptation of false gods, the allure of easy answers, but he also knew the strength of their faith, the resilience of their spirit. He reminded them of the miracles they'd witnessed, the battles they'd won. His words were a beacon, a guiding light for the people he'd led so faithfully. With a heart full of hope, Joshua bid his people farewell, leaving them a land of promise and a legacy of faith.